Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world where kindness, compassion, and sincerity are often seen as weaknesses. People sometimes say, nice people finish last, as if being kind somehow leads to failure. But I stand before you today to say, no, nice people do not finish last. They simply run a different race. Let me tell you a little secret. Being nice, being kind, being genuine, and staying true to your values is not a recipe for defeat. It's a recipe for strength. Yes, you may encounter obstacles along the way. Yes, the world may sometimes overlook your goodness or take advantage of your gentleness. But I promise you this, the true measure of success is not in how fast we get to the finish line, but in the integrity we maintain as we walk our path. Every scar I carry, every challenge I've faced has been a reminder of this. Strength is not just about standing tall in the face of adversity. Strength is about remaining compassionate in a world that often forgets the value of kindness. It is about choosing to be your authentic self even when the world tells you to be something else. It's about showing up with a heart full of love and a mind focused on hope, even when you're told that's a disadvantage. I know many of you have experienced moments of doubt. You've asked yourself, why should I keep being nice when others who aren't as genuine seem to get ahead? The truth is, those who seem to be winning are often racing in a race that doesn't require them to be true to who they are. But remember this. The race that matters most is the one you run with your soul, not just your feet. In every kind word, every act of kindness, you create ripples that affect others in ways you might not immediately see. That kindness, that authenticity, it does come back to you. And even if it doesn't in the way you expect, it will come back in the form of peace, satisfaction, and the strength to face whatever life throws your way. If I've learned anything in this life, it's that people may not always remember how many things you did or how perfectly you did them, but they will always remember how you made them feel. And making people feel seen, valued, and loved is a gift, not a weakness. So when someone tells you that nice people finish last, you look them in the eye and tell them this. Nice people finish with grace, with dignity, with strength that cannot be measured by superficial markers of success. We may not always be the loudest or the fastest, but we are the ones who last, in the truest sense of the word. Never let anyone diminish your light, because they don't understand the power that lies in kindness. Never let anyone tell you that you are less because you choose to be empathetic, because you choose to uplift others, and because you choose to remain true to your heart. Remember, the race is not about how you finish, but about how you run it. And nice people run with their hearts. Kindness and authenticity are strengths, not weaknesses. In a world that often values quick wins, power dynamics, and superficial achievements, it is easy to be led into the belief that kindness is something to be traded or dimmed in order to survive. We are constantly bombarded by messages that teach us to prioritize our personal gain, to build walls, and to protect ourselves at the expense of others. This belief can make us question the true value of being kind and genuine. Are they truly strengths, or are they merely weaknesses that prevent us from achieving our goals? But in reality, kindness and authenticity are the very foundations of lasting strength. They are not characteristics that hinder progress, rather, they are the very things that enable true and lasting success. There is a certain quiet power in choosing to be kind, in remaining authentic even when the world is pushing you to conform. Kindness is often misunderstood as a sign of weakness because it requires vulnerability. It involves exposing a part of yourself that is open, that expects nothing in return, and yet offers something of immense value: love, support, compassion. When you offer kindness, you are opening your heart. And in a world that sometimes feels cold and disconnected, this can be seen as a risk. However, it is precisely this act of opening yourself up, of not hiding behind walls, that can unlock the greatest potential for both personal growth and connection with others. Authenticity, too, is a deeply empowering strength. To be authentic means to stay true to who you are, to resist the pressure to change yourself in order to fit in or to meet external expectations. It is about embracing your values, your unique traits, and the things that make you different. This can often feel like a daunting task in a world that thrives on conformity. In a society where filters, perfection, and curated images dominate, authenticity may seem like a rarity, but in truth, it is a rarity that makes a profound impact. When you are authentic, you become a beacon of truth. In a world that sometimes hides behind masks, people are drawn to authenticity because it offers them the permission to do the same. Choosing to be kind and authentic doesn't mean ignoring the realities of the world or allowing others to take advantage of you. Kindness does not mean being passive, nor does authenticity mean always sharing everything about yourself. Being kind and authentic requires strength because it means standing firm in your values, even when doing so might not immediately reward you. In many situations, kindness is not returned, and authenticity can make you stand out in ways that feel uncomfortable. You may face criticism or even rejection for choosing to be yourself. But it is in these moments of discomfort that the true power of kindness and authenticity emerges. When you act with kindness, even in the face of unkindness, you demonstrate resilience. When you remain authentic despite the pressure to conform, you show that you are unwavering in your commitment to who you are. Think of the times in your life when you've been shown kindness or when you've acted authentically, even when it felt difficult. These moments may not have resulted in immediate recognition or success, but they likely left a lasting impact on you and others. The power of kindness lies not in the immediate return, but in the ripple effects it creates. It's the smile you offer to a stranger, the comforting words you give to someone in need, the understanding you extend to someone who is different from you. These acts of kindness may seem small in the grand scheme of things, but they create connections, they build trust, and they foster a sense of community and belonging. When we are kind, we create bonds that transcend the surface level interactions that dominate much of our lives. We build a foundation for deeper relationships based on empathy and understanding, not competition or comparison. Similarly, authenticity invites others to do the same. It is easy to be lost in the noise of expectations and to start wearing masks to fit in. But authenticity brings clarity. It removes the need to pretend, to constantly worry about whether you are measuring up to some ideal. When you are authentic, you no longer feel the need to constantly compare yourself to others. You can stand firm in your own skin, knowing that you are enough just as you are. This, in turn, empowers others to embrace their own authenticity. People feel safe around you when they know you are being real with them. And this safety creates an environment in which true connections can flourish. The world needs more kind and authentic people. In a time when divisiveness and negativity often dominate the headlines, the simple act of kindness can be a powerful act of resistance. It resists the notion that we are all out for ourselves, that success comes only from stepping on others. It resists the idea that we must hide parts of ourselves in order to be accepted. It resists the belief that we must conform to a narrow definition of success in order to be valued. Instead, kindness and authenticity offer a different kind of success, a success rooted in connection, in understanding, and in the ability to be your true self without fear. The strength of kindness and authenticity is that they don't rely on external validation. They come from within. When you act kindly, you are not seeking praise or recognition. You are simply choosing to be the best version of yourself, regardless of how the world responds. The same is true for authenticity. When you are authentic, you are not trying to please others or gain their approval. You are simply choosing to honor who you are and the values that guide you, regardless of how how others perceive you. Nice people leave a lasting impact through love and empathy, not competition or comparison. In a world where the drive for success often leads to rivalry and comparison, it can sometimes feel as though kindness and empathy are overlooked in favor of more aggressive strategies. We are taught from a young age to compete, to stand out, and to prove ourselves in ways that sometimes devalue the importance of connection and compassion. However, the truth is that the most lasting and meaningful impacts come not from trying to outdo others, but from lifting them up, from offering love and understanding, and from fostering an environment where empathy thrives. The power of kindness is often underestimated. People tend to focus on tangible achievements such as accolades, wealth, or social status, thinking that these are the markers of success. While these accomplishments can be significant, they are fleeting. A medal, a promotion, or even a large following may be impressive in the moment, but they don't last forever. In contrast, the impact of kindness reverberates through time. It lingers in people's hearts and minds, and the connections formed through acts of compassion continue to shape lives long after the moment has passed. The way we treat others has a profound influence on them. A kind word, a simple gesture of care, or an act of listening can change someone's day, their outlook on life, and even their future. It is often the smallest actions that make the biggest difference. When we offer empathy, we make people feel seen, valued, and heard. We create a space for them to express themselves authentically, without fear of judgment or rejection. In a world where many feel isolated or misunderstood, showing up with genuine kindness is a powerful act that can break down barriers and forge meaningful connections. What sets nice people apart is not their lack of ambition or drive, but their ability to understand that success is not a zero-sum game. In a world obsessed with competition, it is easy to view other people as obstacles to be overcome, as rivals to be defeated. We often look at others and measure our own worth by comparing ourselves to them. How we rank against their achievements, how we measure up to their status, how we fit into a hierarchy. But the truth is, competition doesn't have to be about comparison. It doesn't have to be about trying to surpass someone else in order to prove your value. True success is about lifting others up, not pushing them down. It is about creating spaces where everyone can succeed together, where collaboration replaces rivalry, and where empathy is the driving force behind progress. The impact of kindness is far-reaching, often creating a ripple effect that can spread far beyond the immediate moment. When we show love and empathy to others, we not only improve their lives, but we also inspire them to do the same for those around them. One act of kindness can lead to many, as the person on the receiving end feels empowered to pass it on. This creates a culture of care where people are more likely to support one another, to encourage each other's growth, and to celebrate each other's successes. The result is not only a more compassionate world, but a more interconnected one, where we all thrive together. When we focus on competition or comparison, we limit our potential. The energy we spend trying to outdo others could be better used to invest in ourselves, to grow as individuals, and to contribute positively to the lives of those around us. Competing with others only fosters insecurity, jealousy, and division. On the other hand, embracing kindness and empathy strengthens our connections, builds trust, and fosters a sense of community. Rather than constantly striving to be better than others, we should strive to be better for others, to use our strengths to support and uplift those around us. A person who leads with love and empathy doesn't need to prove anything. They understand that true fulfillment comes not from accolades or external recognition, but from the joy of making a difference in someone else's life. These people inspire others not through their ability to dominate, but through their ability to connect, to care, and to offer a helping hand. Their impact is not measured by what they've achieved in isolation, but by the positive change they bring to the world through their relationships with others. While society often praises competition, the truth is that the most enduring legacies are not built on rivalry. They are built on the foundation of compassion and understanding. History is full of examples of individuals who made a lasting impact, not by outshining others, but by offering their love, their time, and their resources to improve the lives of those around them. Think of the great leaders, the activists, the mentors, and the caregivers who have shaped our world. They are remembered not for their ability to defeat their rivals, but for their ability to unite, to inspire, and to uplift. The beauty of kindness is that it doesn't require grand gestures to make an impact. It doesn't require fame or wealth. It only requires a heart willing to listen, to empathize, and to care. In a world that often values power and prestige, choosing to be kind can seem like an act of defiance. But in reality, it is an act of strength. It takes courage to show up with an open heart in a world that sometimes feels cold and indifferent. It takes strength to offer empathy to those who may not return it, and to continue to extend kindness even when it seems unappreciated. The impact of nice people is felt in the long term. Their influence doesn't fade as quickly as that of someone who has sought to climb the ladder of success through competition. Nice people leave behind a legacy of love and empathy, creating bonds that endure even when circumstances change. The relationships they build are grounded in trust, respect, and mutual support, and these relationships continue to grow and evolve long after they have passed through our lives. The impact of kindness is immeasurable. It doesn't need to be quantified or ranked. It simply exists in the moments we share, in the connections we form, and in the lives we touch. While others may focus on competing or comparing, the nicest people are the ones who quietly change the world by fostering empathy, love, and understanding wherever they go. Their impact is not measured in victories, but in the hearts they touch along the way. The concept of being patient in the face of adversity is often viewed as a passive act, but in reality, it is a profound demonstration of resilience and strength. In a world that constantly demands immediate results, instant gratification, and rapid success, the ability to remain patient, to endure hardships without losing hope, is increasingly rare and yet incredibly powerful. Patience is not just about waiting for things to improve. It is about finding peace and purpose during the waiting period and using that time to grow, reflect, and build a foundation for eventual success. When we talk about patience, we often envision a person calmly waiting for something to happen or for a situation to change. However, patience is much more than simply waiting. It involves maintaining composure and focus, even when the circumstances around us are challenging or difficult. It requires a deep sense of trust, not only in the eventual outcome, but also in ourselves. To be patient is to believe that what we are experiencing right now, no matter how painful or uncomfortable, is temporary, and that through perseverance we will come through the other side stronger, wiser, and more capable. The impatience that dominates our modern world can be seen everywhere. We live in an age of rapid technology, instant communication, and quick fixes. From social media to on-demand services, we have become accustomed to having things happen at the speed of light. This fast-pacing lifestyle can be exhilarating at times, but it also creates unrealistic expectations about how quickly things should unfold in our lives. We expect success, happiness, and fulfillment to come immediately, and when they don't, we often feel frustrated or defeated. This mindset of immediacy can lead to unnecessary stress, poor decision-making, and a lack of appreciation for the present moment. But true growth rarely comes from rushing toward an end goal. Whether it's personal development, career advancement, or building meaningful relationships, the most valuable experiences take time. When we rush through life, we miss out on the opportunities to learn, to reflect, and to make decisions based on wisdom rather than impatience. Every setback, every challenge, every moment of discomfort has the potential to teach us something important if we are willing to be patient enough to learn from it. Being patient does not mean passivity. It doesn't mean resigning ourselves to the idea that things will change on their own without any effort or intention. Patience is active. It requires us to remain engaged with our goals, to continue taking action, and to stay committed to our vision, even when progress seems slow. It's about choosing to persist with determination, knowing that true success often requires time, hard work, and perseverance. It is about understanding that the process itself is as important as the outcome, and that each moment of struggle contributes to our growth and development. In the face of adversity, patience provides us with the emotional and mental resilience we need to overcome challenges. Adversity often brings pain, uncertainty, and self-doubt, but with patience, we can create a space where we can sit with these emotions, learn from them, and move forward stronger. Patience helps us avoid reacting impulsively to difficulties. Instead of acting out of frustration or fear, we can take a step back, reflect on the situation, and approach it with a clear, calm mindset. This ability to remain centered in times of stress is a skill that can transform our ability to navigate life's challenges and make decisions that are aligned with our long-term goals. When we practice patience, we also learn to trust the timing of our lives. This trust is rooted in the understanding that not everything happens according to our plans, and that not everything happens when we want it to. Sometimes the timing of our goals is beyond our control, and we must learn to accept the uncertainty that comes with this. Trusting the timing of our lives means acknowledging that there is a larger plan at play, even if we can't always see it. This trust allows us to let go of the need for perfection and embrace the process of growth, knowing that the path may twist and turn, but it will ultimately lead us to where we are meant to be. Patience also teaches us the importance of resilience in the face of rejection and failure. Not every effort we make will yield immediate results, and not every plan will work out the way we envision it. Rejection and failure are inevitable parts of life, but they do not define us. They are simply stepping stones on the path to success. Patience enables us to see rejection and failure not as the end of the road, but as opportunities for learning and improvement. By allowing ourselves to experience setbacks without giving up, we build the resilience necessary to keep going, even when things get tough. Patience is essential when it comes to building relationships, whether it's with friends, family, or romantic partners. Relationships take time and effort to nurture. In a world where people often seek instant gratification, it can be tempting to rush through relationships looking for quick connections or instant validation. However, true and meaningful relationships are built on trust, respect, and mutual understanding, all of which take time to develop. By being patient with others, we allow ourselves to build deeper connections and create relationships that are grounded in authenticity and care. Patience helps us to understand others more fully, to listen without judgment, and to offer support without expectation, all of which contribute to the strength of our relationships. Success is not measured by speed, but by the integrity of your journey. In a world driven by constant competition, instant gratification, and quick rewards, it is easy to fall into the trap of thinking that the faster you reach your goals, the more successful you are. We see stories of overnight successes, quick wealth, and rapid fame, and we are led to believe that this is the standard by which we should measure our own progress. But in reality, success is not defined by how quickly you reach the finish line. It is defined by the integrity with which you pursue your goals, the values you uphold along the way, and the person you become as you strive toward your vision. When we rush through life, focused only on the destination, we miss out on the true essence of the journey. The pressure to succeed quickly can sometimes blind us to the lessons, growth, and experiences that shape us. Every step we take, every challenge we overcome, and every decision we make is part of the process that molds us into who we are meant to be. If we only focus on getting to the end, we lose sight of the depth and richness of the journey itself. We forget that it is in the small, quiet moments that we find the most valuable lessons, and it is through the challenges and obstacles that we grow stronger. Consider the people we admire most, the ones whose success seems to have been earned through grit, hard work, and resilience, the ones who have overcome adversity and built something meaningful from the ground up. They are not the ones who reach their goals quickly. Rather, they are the ones who remained committed to their purpose, even when the path was unclear or the progress slow. They are the ones who stayed true to their values, who built a foundation of integrity, and who faced every obstacle with courage and perseverance. Integrity is not a characteristic that can be rushed. It is something that is developed over time through consistency, honesty, and the ability to stay true to your principles, even when faced with challenges or temptations to take shortcuts. Integrity is about doing the right thing even when no one is watching. It is about aligning your actions with your values and not compromising your beliefs for the sake of convenience or success. When we prioritize integrity over speed, we build a foundation that will support us for the long haul. We create a path that is sustainable, one that we can walk with pride, knowing that every step we take is grounded in authenticity and truth. When we focus solely on the speed at which we achieve our goals, we often overlook the importance of building a solid foundation. A strong foundation is what allows us to withstand the storms of life, to remain steady when the winds of change blow in our direction. It is what enables us to keep going when the road gets tough, and it is what gives us the strength to continue when others might give up. A foundation built on integrity is one that will last, one that will continue to support us no matter how long it takes to achieve our dreams. Speed may seem like the easy option, especially when it feels like everyone around us is rushing ahead. But when we rush through life, we miss the opportunity to truly understand ourselves, to learn from our mistakes, and to appreciate the beauty of the journey. True success is not about how fast you can reach the destination. It is about how deeply you engage with the process, how much you learn along the way, and how much you grow as a person in the pursuit of your goals. We often get caught up in the idea of comparison, measuring our success against others. We see people achieving things quickly and we wonder why we aren't there yet. But the truth is, everyone's journey is different. The timeline that works for one person might not work for another. Success is not a race and it is not a competition. It is a personal journey, one that is unique to each of us. The only person you should compare yourself to is the person you were yesterday. Are you better than you were yesterday? Are you closer to your goals? Are you learning and growing along the way? These are the questions that matter, not how quickly you get there. The journey towards success is often filled with setbacks, detours, and moments of doubt. But it is these moments that shape us, that test our resilience, and that reveal our true character. It is in these moments that we have the opportunity to prove to ourselves that we can stay the course, even when it feels like everything is working against us. The integrity of our journey is measured by how we handle adversity, how we rise after every fall, and how we continue to move forward, even when the road is not as smooth as we had hoped. Success achieved quickly may feel good in the moment, but it often lacks the depth and fulfillment that comes from a journey lived with integrity. When we focus on the process, when we take the time to build something meaningful, when we choose the long road instead of the shortcut, we create something that has lasting value. It is the difference between building a house on a shaky foundation and building a home on solid ground. One might stand for a while, but the other will endure. The integrity of your journey is what will carry you through the tough times. It is what will keep you grounded when the world around you is chaotic, and it is what will allow you to look back with pride, knowing that every step you took was in alignment with your values. It is the quiet strength that will sustain you, even when the world around you is focused only on speed and surface-level success. So, let go of the need to race toward your goals. Trust the process. Take the time to build something that is meaningful, something that is rooted in integrity. Remember that true success is not about how fast you get to the finish line. It is about how you walk the path, how you stay true to yourself, and how you grow along the way. Take your time, because the journey is just as important as the destination. True strength lies in remaining compassionate in an often indifferent world. It is easy to mistake strength for something external, something that is loud and forceful, something that stands out and dominates. In a world that often rewards aggression, competition, and dominance, we are led to believe that strength is about being tough, assertive, and unyielding. However, true strength is something far deeper and more profound. It lies in the ability to remain compassionate, to show empathy, and to choose kindness even when the world around you seems indifferent or even hostile. Compassion requires vulnerability, and vulnerability can often be seen as a weakness in a society that values toughness above all else. When you show compassion, you are opening yourself up to others' pain, their struggles, their flaws. You allow yourself to feel their suffering and to offer them support. It requires courage to allow yourself to be affected by the pain of others, especially when the world tells you to focus on your own success, your own survival, and your own advancement. Yet despite the prevailing belief that toughness is strength, it is in these acts of compassion that we find our truest form of resilience. To be compassionate means to acknowledge the humanity of others, even when it feels like the world is indifferent to their struggles. It means choosing to act with empathy in moments when it would be easier to ignore or turn away. Compassion does not ask for anything in return. It is given freely, without expectation, and it comes from a place of genuine care for others. In a world that often tells us to look out for number one, to focus on our own needs and to disregard the needs of others, compassion becomes a revolutionary act. It challenges the prevailing norms and reminds us that we are all interconnected, that our strength does not come from isolation, but from unity. Remaining compassionate in an indifferent world can be challenging. There are many moments when it feels like kindness and empathy go unnoticed or unappreciated. It is easy to become disillusioned, to wonder why we should continue to show compassion when it feels like the world is not reciprocating. We may encounter people who take advantage of our kindness, who exploit our vulnerability, or who dismiss our attempts at empathy. In these moments, it is easy to become cynical and to retreat into ourselves, to protect our hearts from further hurt. But it is in these very moments that our true strength is tested. The ability to remain compassionate, even when it feels like the world is indifferent or unkind, requires a deep well of inner strength. True strength is not about hardening yourself in the face of adversity. It is not about becoming immune to the suffering of others or shutting yourself off from the world. Instead, true strength lies in remaining open, in staying soft and tender despite the hardness that may surround you. It is about not allowing the indifference of others to harden your heart, but choosing to continue to act with love, empathy, and understanding, even when it seems difficult. When you remain compassionate in the face of indifference, you are not weak, you are strong. It takes an incredible amount of inner fortitude to choose kindness over bitterness, to choose understanding over judgment, to choose connection over separation. Compassion is not a passive act. It is an active choice. One that requires strength, resilience, and a deep belief in the power of human connection. It is about recognizing that the strength to face life's challenges does not come from conquering others, but from lifting them up, from offering a hand when they are down, and from choosing love in a world that often chooses fear. Compassion also has the power to transform not only those around you, but also yourself. When you choose compassion, you cultivate an inner peace that comes from knowing you have acted in alignment with your values. You begin to see the world not as a place full of enemies or obstacles, but as a place full of opportunities to connect, to heal, and to grow. By remaining compassionate, you open the door for others to do the same, creating an environment in which kindness and understanding flourish. You create a space where people can show up as their authentic selves, knowing that they are met with empathy and care rather than judgment or disdain. In an indifferent world, compassion is often seen as a rare gift. It is easy to become cynical and jaded, to believe that kindness has no place in a world that seems so focused on self-interest. But it is precisely because the world is indifferent that we must be compassionate. It is because there is so much pain and suffering that we must choose to offer care and understanding. It is because people are hurting and because there are so many who feel unseen, unheard, or unloved that we must remain open and compassionate even when it feels difficult. When we remain compassionate in an indifferent world, we begin to change the world, one small act at a time. Compassion is contagious. When we act with kindness, we inspire others to do the same. We create a ripple effect that spreads outwards, touching the lives of those around us, and ultimately making the world a more empathetic and connected place. This is the true power of compassion. It has the ability to change not only the lives of those we touch directly, but also the world as a whole.
For the things I've done and the fire I still run from. You were poison in a pretty face. I was wrecked, you were my grace. I made peace with the fall I took when you held me close but never looked. I thought you'd be the one to lead. Turns out it was me. Now baby, I'm gone and I'm never turning back. With a shattered chest, dreamed of you and your silhouette. I kissed a ghost in a photograph, but you faded out too fast. Now I know you're full of regret, but I'm not losing sleep on that. You built this ache inside my skin, so don't ask where I've been. Now baby,